Hi everyone, I'm Nigel Gordyke, co-organiser of the Wilmot Terry Fox Run. On July 20th, 1980, the Marathon of Hope arrived in Wilmot Township. We'll be celebrating that historic event on July 20th this year, the very first Terry Fox Day in Wilmot. As part of the celebration, we'll be hosting a storytime reading of the award-winning book Terry Fox and Me, written for young readers by Mary Beth Leatherdale and illustrated by Milan Pavlovich. And it's my pleasure to be speaking with Mary Beth today. Hello, Mary Beth, how are you?
I'm very well. Nice to see you, Nigel. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing your time with us today. Can you tell us what inspired you to write the book, Terry Fox and Me?
Sure, I'd be happy to. In 2017, the fall of 2017, I was doing a lot of visits to schools. And everyone was preparing for the Terry Fox Run, and they had the T-shirts and the banners in the hall and the excitement in the air. And I was really moved. You know, I had memories of Terry Fox running when I was a high school student and my own children's first runs. And I had some family members and friends dealing with cancer at the time. And so I was just so moved by these generations and generations of children who had been inspired, you know, to raise money for cancer research by Terry Fox. And one of my drivers was saying, you know, there really needs to be a book for younger children about Terry Fox. Well, that's interesting. So I went away and I did some research and I agreed. And so that's how the idea came to be.
What would you say is the hook or the center of your story?
Well, it's definitely the friendship between Terry Fox and Doug Allward. You know, I knew who Doug was. He was the quiet guy who drove the van. But it was until I came across a quote from Daryl Fox in my research that until I read that, I really didn't understand Doug's role. You know, Daryl says that without Doug Allward, there would never have been a Marathon of Hope. And the more I read and, you know, the more I talked to people, the more I agreed. Doug and Terry were very close friends, you know, throughout their life. And Doug was the only person who was there every step of the way on the Marathon of Hope. You know, the first person Terry told about it, his dream. And so he's so integral, and their friendship is at the heart of the story. I really thought, you know, Terry's such an icon. I wanted them to get to know Terry in the way that Doug did.
So the book was written as part of the Marathon of Hope's 40th anniversary celebrations in 2020. What kind of feedback have you received since then?
Oh, it's really been tremendous. You know, we've had so much great support from the Fox family and the Terry Fox Foundation, and the larger Terry Fox community. So people have gotten behind the book and have purchased it and given it as gifts. And we found ourselves on the Globe and Mail, you know, bestseller list, which is not a small feat for a Canadian book, a Canadian story when you're competing against you know, Dog Man and other kind of universally popular titles. Kids have really embraced the books. You know, we're thrilled to have been selected as a Silver Birch Honour Book. It's a Reader's Choice Award, run through the Ontario Library Associations, and kids vote for their favorite books. So we've had lots of love that way. And, you know, I'm also very pleased that we've got and received a number of honors in the US, you know, where Terry's story isn't as well known. The Junior Library Guild, things, other sort of industry awards. And I really hope it brings his story, you know, to a wider audience and he becomes better known. I know he has his fans in the US, but just is more widely known.
Well, it's 42 years since the Marathon of Hope. Why do you think Terry's story still resonates with people?
Well, I mean, it's an incredible story. And when I speak to kids, I always say, you know, Terry wasn't born a hero. He was just an ordinary kid. And that really comes through in, when Doug talks about him. I think we all have so much to learn, from Terry. And it's hard to imagine the courage and the vision that he had. But when we really think about how he achieved those things, it's something we can all, embrace and try. Terry never started out, planning to run 42 kilometers a day, right? He set small goals. He was going to run to the stop sign, to the tree, and taking it one step at a time, like Terry, and Doug did, I think is just such wonderful advice for all of us, and really resonates with kids, and they can really see how they can make an impact and achieve their goals in that way.
Speaking about kids, discussing cancer can be scary for anyone, no matter their age. So what do you think the secret is to talking about cancer with kids?
Yeah, there's not a classroom in this country that you walk into where there aren't students who have been impacted by cancer. It's a reality in their lives, and their family and friends and neighbors are facing it. And they understand what it means. And so being able to talk about, the legacy of the Marathon of Hope, more than $800 million that's been raised, the 3 million children who are running across the country to raise money for cancer research, to talk about the incredible impact that the Marathon of Hope has had, and also just about how much has changed. If Terry was diagnosed with the sarcoma now, he wouldn't lose his leg, he wouldn't die. And so it really is just such it's a wonderful story, but a great example about how the impact, we can all have in supporting cancer research.
Can you tell me what Terry Fox means to you personally? How does he continue to inspire you now?
Yeah, he's obviously an incredible young man, choked up. I'll show you. There's a quote I keep on my computer from Terry. It's not supposed to be easy. And, in many ways, I identify much more with Doug, right? Sort of a quiet person behind the scenes. But through their story and coming to know them more intimately, and I really feel their presence in my lives, and just the and just what they taught me about the importance of courage and doing what you can.
Mary Beth, thank you so much. It's been wonderful speaking with you. Thank you for sharing your time.
Yeah, thank you.